Hey, everybody. It is, what is it? It's the 20th of October, 2022. That means it's Friday. If you're checking your Gregorian calendar, make sure it's the Gregorian calendar. I don't know about any other calendars, but today is Friday on the Gregorian calendar. My name is still Kevin Murcko. I'm still CEO at Coin Metro. And this is called an AMA. You ask, I answer. There's already been some asks, so I'm going to go ahead and answer them. There's also a few questions that came rolled in on Reddit, my favorite platform, and so I'll get to those as well. Let's jump right in. So let's get one of these bad boys up on the screen. Boom. JK, hey Kevin, could you explain to us what's going on behind the scenes with the Mars program? Why it takes so much time? Did you find a profitable plan? Thanks. Yeah, Mars. So, Mars, as everybody already knows, stands for multiple asset rewards. It's essentially a staking plan that allows you to earn stake in multiple assets when just staking one, our own beloved XCM. Why it takes so long? Well, you're talking about working with multiple counterparties, whether those be protocols or custody agents. We don't work with counterparties that simply provide yield, whether that be treasury yield or protocol yield or whatever. We don't work with companies like Voyager, Celsius, etc. We work either with custody agents like Fireblocks and BitGo, or just code or write directly to the protocol. With launching 5 or 6 of these at one time, obviously things need to be, 1, integrated, 2, tested, and then there needs to be updates on the front end and back end to make sure that everything's working as it should be. We also have a few different updates that are coming that aren't necessarily tied to Mars, but are tied to staking. And so those are rolling out at the same time. So to do something the right way sometimes takes a bit of time. Plus, it's not the only thing we're working on. Obviously, we told you guys that it's up there on the priority list, and it is. And I believe, I know we said October. What's the date on this coming Monday? I'll leave it there. I just watched a video detailing Celsius and their CEO's criminality and discovered how easy and blatant lying can be. Just now, huh? Does CM have proof of reserves? Can you prove you haven't sold anything as claimed? Haven't sold anything. We definitely sell crypto assets. And during 2019, we kept the company alive by selling XCM. And that was definitely public knowledge. Currently, proof of reserves. Well, we do to a certain extent, because if you go to, I believe it's CoinGecko, they have APIs that link up to all our different wallet addresses, and you can see like where it says, I don't know if it says proof of reserves, but it says something along those lines. It is something that we're working on, and I think sometime in 2023, we are going to roll out probably something similar to what you see on the XCM page, which is going to be to basically showing you where all our assets sit, obligations back to clients, all that good stuff. So kind of like euro obligation back to clients, euro value of crypto held internally, something along those lines. Hey, Kevin, what are your thoughts on Syntropy and PRQ? Both seem to be amazing buy opportunities for the next bull run whenever it comes. So on Syntropy, I don't own Syntropy. Obviously, well, it's listed, but I don't own it. I do own PRQ, and I've owned it for a long time. I'm still bullish on PRQ. I think everything we list goes through a process, right? It's not just about Kevin likes it, Kevin doesn't like it. I don't know. It's awesome. One person asked for it. 3 people asked for it. Then none of that stuff comes into play. It's really about whether or not we feel that project, that business is actually going to do what they say they're going to do, and whether or not they're going to be successful doing it. To be honest, I think most things on Coin Metro are primed and ready for the next quote unquote bull run. These are 2 of them. But to be honest, aside from a few assets that were listed simply because they were majors at the time, and 1 or 2 assets that were listed simply because there was someone crying to get them listed. Other than that, I think we have a pretty good basket of assets. And to be honest, if you just DC8 into most of them, you're probably going to do all right in the next bull run. Now, just as a caveat, this idea of hodl anything, which has pretty much worked since crypto's inception, is going to stop working at some point. Now, as I said, we go through a painstaking process when we list things, but that doesn't mean they're all going to come to fruition. They're all going to do well. Some of them still may suck. That's just the name of the game. Just understand that while in the past, especially when it comes to taking advice from others, because in the past, Trust me, somebody could have told you to buy anything. And as long as they told you more or less at the right time, and the right time could have been a whole year, they would have went up in value. So you got to be careful of that. Mikel. I think it's Mikel. That's what I'm going with. Why can't we sell XCM? You can absolutely sell XCM. It's just that right now, if you look inside the book, there's orders on the sell side. This is my hotel room key. I'm a visual guy. This is, block some shine out of the forehead here. This is the top of the order book. You'll see a lot of orders there. Bottom of the order book, you're not seeing much. And the reason for that is that, well, I guess rewind back to the beginning of this year when everything went to shit in the crypto market, right? Prices started to tumble and assets fell 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. When that happened, there was a good amount of orders on the buy side on the XCM book. I think it was like 1.7 million euros, I believe, at the time. That's when the euro was actually valued at something, kids. I'm that old. So at that time, shit was just going down everywhere. So what people did was, well, they saw 1.7 million in the order book. They took it. They sold some XCM. Subsequent to that, another 500,000 or 600,000 euros appeared in the order book about a week later. Gone within like 48 hours. Done. At that point, the order book looked pretty much what it looks like now, with orders on the sell side and orders on the buy side. Now, market orders, for that reason, don't work because there's nothing sitting there to accept your market order on the buy side. However, if you put in a limit order, it will absolutely get accepted above 60 cents. And then you're just waiting in line. It's like waiting in a queue. You got to turn yourself, into a person that loves queues, and you sit inside that queue. And once your number is called, your order is filled. I've seen reports of it taking anywhere from 2 to 4 months to get orders filled. Now that's ridiculous. I agree with you. You don't even have to say it. We've been working now for the past 4 months on putting together a string of different activities that will help reactivate the book. And a lot of them are now going to go into effect between now and just towards the end of November. So some of those are going to be tied into some holidays that roll in around that time in terms of promotional stuff. Some really cool promotional stuff. I think that's going to help kickstart the book. And other things are going to be more mechanical and will happen before that. And so some of these things will inevitably reduce the sell side of the book. And the promotional side, we're hoping, will help reinvigorate the buy side and bring in more orders. So, yep, you can sell XCM. It's just not as streamlined as we would like it to be, but we're working on it, and it will be in the coming weeks. Why is there no mention of the price floor on XCM page? Seems like a decent opportunity to educate potential buyers. It's a good question. I think we probably should be talking about it. The word price floor, maybe it wouldn't be the way that we would describe it on that page. But describing that XCM is a utility token, that it does have utility on the XCM platform. That utility comes with a cost. And that's why the price, is basically stable or sits above this. I don't know what I would call it instead of a price floor. You put me on the spot, man. I don't know, but yes, I think it should be mentioned. Good. Next revision of the XCM page will take that into account. What type of places are you going after for this next funding round? What type of places are you going after for this next funding round, and what valuation? What type of places? You mean like who we're talking to? Well, we're going this current second interim funding round, which we're currently kind of sitting in now, is probably going to be a little bit more angel money, but also some potential small VC money. The round after that, which we would consider probably like, I guess it really wouldn't be an A round, but it would be structured very much like an A round, though maybe it's B or C at this point, officially. That round would definitely be, kind of quote unquote smart money, your VC money. So we'd be going after VCs, both in the crypto sector and in the broader finance sector as well, and potentially even outside of that. The valuation for this interim round is going to be 200 million. The round we do after that, we'd be targeting about $500 million, somewhere in that range. All depends on market. Could be higher, could be lower, but that would be generally the sweet spot, I think. Hi, Kevin. Forwarding some questions for people that couldn't make the AMA. Thank you for forwarding the Reddit questions. I had them here on my phone, ready to roll, but appreciate that, Charlie. Any thoughts on ALBT Alliance Blocks futures? Haven't read into Alliance Blocks futures. Didn't even know that was a thing, so can't comment on it. So yeah, you'll send me something on whoever put up this question. Please send me something. If you're on Telegram, shoot me something on Telegram at Kevin Murcko. Just my name. I'm not anonymous. I don't wear a pineapple mask, and I don't run around screaming things at conferences. Wink, wink. Inside joke. So yeah, just shoot me something on Telegram. Give me a link or something. Let me take a look. Haven't seen it. Anything you can let out of the bag on the XCM bonus that was teased on the roadmap? Nope. Just let you know that it's happening end of November, the last 2 weeks of November. That much I can let out. Does Kevin believe that KDA is still a 3-figure coin? I do. I know I said it would happen by the end of this year. I mean, it could still happen, though. The probability there is kind of low right now. But yes, I still think it's going to get there. I think if the market hadn't done what the market did, we'd be there already. I just said the world, because really the market just is a reflection of the world, right? So has there been any consideration of fractionalizing popular NFTs in the same manner that KuCoin did? We don't want to do anything that KuCoin does. Fuck those guys. Sorry. So they can be traded on your centralized exchange. I mean, I get that people like to trade shit. And by here, I do mean shit. I get that people like to trade different things. I get that people like liquidity in different assets. I come from a trading background. I get it. Makes sense. But CoinMetro is CoinMetro is about providing access for all. So, I know there's people that want to buy and sell NFTs. We're also, though, trying to make this profitable for people. We're trying to make this easy for people. We're trying to get people to make money in this market and not get wrecked. And this type of, product or service first of all, doesn't seem to me like it would be something that most people would want, at least right now. Second, I think most people probably get wrecked. Most people got wrecked on NFTs, right? A lot of people bought some of these that are listed down there in the millions, and now they're worth hundreds of thousands. Oh, the whole market got wrecked. So whatever, right? But you can make an argument that Bitcoin and other powerful and well put together crypto assets are going to rise back in value in the next, again, quote unquote, bull run. Can you make that same argument for NFTs? Was it just a one-time bubble? People make a mistake of thinking that they're spotting patterns when, in fact, in a new market, there can be all kinds of cycles that never repeat. And that's still the case even for crypto. We've seen this cycle, this bear bull cycle 8 or 9 times now. And that pretty much, says it's probably going to repeat itself 8 or 9 times. It's a lot over the last, it's once a year almost on average. However, NFTs are newer, and we've only seen this pattern once or maybe twice. Doesn't mean the cycle doesn't mean it's going to repeat. So for me, this type of thing is just too soon. It's like telling a Holocaust joke 2 days after, World War II ends. Too soon, man. Too soon. You got to wait like 50 years. You can't jump out of the gun with that. Are you crazy? So point is that this is something that I wouldn't touch right now, to be honest. I wouldn't touch it. Again, there may be people that are interested in it, but I don't. All I see this is causing harm to people initially. Now, allowing someone to take their NFT that they own and fractionalize it so they can sell it, if they can't sell it on a wider market that's not fractionalized, that might be interesting. But just for the point of providing or having more volume on the exchange, I don't like it. Will you implement Chainlink staking when it's out? We want to implement passive income opportunities on all assets. So I would say yes. Now, again, do we do it right away? No, it's going to depend on Fireblocks, BitGo, and other providers we use, and other custody agents we may use in the future, or whether or not they provide the service, or whether or not we want to write to it ourselves. But yes, the answer is yes. The easy answer is yes. Nice background today. Yeah, it's a hotel room. Yeah, just a hotel room. What are you doing this weekend? No idea, man. No idea. I'm going to take the people out in the office here in Mexico probably Saturday night, I guess. At least that's my assumption. I think there's a Halloween party going on this afternoon. I had a great Halloween costume this year, man. An absolute amazing Halloween costume. If you've noticed, in the past couple of years, I've always been like 1980s movies characters because, why not? Ghostbusters, Marty McFly. Did you guys see pictures of that? I don't think you did. Sorry. And then that wasn't for Halloween though. That was actually just for a dress up party at somebody's housewarming in Malta, of all places. I had a costume this year. Bought it from the people who made the original for the movie. Had it all ready. Pants don't fit. Dun-dun-dun. So I didn't bring it with me here, so I'm not going to wear it. But next year, or maybe at some fancy dress party. Anybody out there throwing a fancy dress party like in the coming months? I got to lose a little bit of weight. I'm gonna rock that costume. So DM me or something. My DMs are open, as they say. I didn't know what that was till literally recently. I heard it in some song or something. I'm like, my DMs are open. What the fuck is that? I was going through my mind about what DM could stand for. It got really dirty really fast, man. And I don't know why I went there, but I have no idea what it meant until literally, I don't know, a couple months ago. Okay, cool. Is the UAE already or interested in becoming a big investor in CM? The UAE, as in the United Arab Emirates, as a whole, like the king? Well, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but there are investment offices in the UAE that I'm talking to. So yes, potentially, but those talks are still in the making. Any BizDev news, Mr. Kevin? Hey, Jet Fuel is waiting for you. Usually you pop in sooner, man. What's going on? I said man like 500 times already. I'm going to stop saying man. It's starting to piss myself off. BizDev, yeah. So continuing BizDev on this merchant solution using Bitcoin Lightning Network. Some BizDev going on right now about Bitcoin ATMs. Well, I should say crypto ATMs. Some BizDev stuff going on, obviously with Backify still, getting that finalized. What else we got going on the BizDev front? There's probably a few other things that popped into my mind immediately. What would happen to our XCM if CM got acquired by another exchange company? Well, that exchange or company would inevitably still offer XCM because they'd be stupid not to. One, there's XCM in Treasury, so that would just be them giving up Treasury, which would be absolutely ridiculous. And the other side of that, it's already tied into multiple things on the exchange. And obviously, the more that it gets tied in, the more value it has. So I think it would just continue as is. Why would it not? How many customer service reps do you have on staff currently? They rock. Thanks, KB. 16, maybe? No. Let me see. 2, 3, 7. Actually, it might be a little bit more than that because it's somewhere around 20, I think, under 20, but somewhere near 20. What are the key values you instill into the workplace culture at CoinMetro? Wow, this is a great question. And one of those things that, let's see, that I don't have to answer every day. So that, well, I do, but not to you guys. So this is a new one. Culture's a hard thing to cultivate, It's hard because as a leader, as the guy at the top of the totem pole, right? I understand myself, and obviously I understand people. I understand people, but I also sometimes don't understand people, so you have to instill things that you may think are, I don't know, commonplace, Oh, everybody knows this. Oh, nobody would do that. Oh, nobody would say something like this. And then they do, and they do again, and they did again, and they keep doing it. And then you're trying to figure out, well, how, now you get into a parenting role. So I think a lot of the key values we instill, one, openness, right? I want people to be open. I want people to be truthful. If they don't like something, I want them to tell someone about it. If they love something, I want them to tell somebody about it. Communication, big one, right? I think every company, including CoinMetro, struggles with different aspects of communication. So openness and communication are probably right there at the top. I want people to have a good time. Now, I want them to get their fucking work done, that's for sure. But I want them to have a good time doing it, right? I don't want a corporatized office where shit becomes, rigid and real. Now, obviously, we're a regulated entity, so some shit has to be rigid. And unfortunately, that makes it real. But when it comes to just, the way we interact with each other, that people kind of are making, hopefully some lifelong relationships here, friendships, and really enjoy working with people they work with. So that's another one, right? People need to have fun. People need to know. And while they're having fun, they need to know that their job and what they're doing is important to us, no matter what they're doing here at CoinMetro. It's all important. So also just from a management level, making sure that, we have discussions with the people that we work with and make sure that they know that they're important, because they're all important. Everybody at Coin Metro, regardless of what they do on a daily basis, is integral to us, to our success, our current success and our future success. So also that, trying to instill some other things, keeping the balance between have a good time, be communicative, make sure people know what's going on, have a good time. And, oh, by the way, make sure you get your work done. Sometimes that's a bit of a challenge. But I think as we grow, where I think some companies see more and more problems as they grow. We saw a ton of problems when we were small. And I think as we grow and as we hire more people, we're hiring, obviously different types of people from all over the world. And that's actually helping to, I think, instill and also bring in some unique company culture. Something like that. Hit like. Yeah, man, like. I see like 2 hearts. I don't know what that's from, though, but I'd love to see more than 2. 3 would be great. There was a roadmap at some point mentioning liquidity pools on CoinMetro. Is that still planned? Well, obviously not planned, but still something that we've been talking about for some time. It does have a level of difficulty, not in implementation per se, but a level of difficulty in that once implemented, depending on the amount of liquidity in those books, how liquidity books would switch between liquidity providers, those liquidity books, and orders within the book, whether we would aggregate them into one, if there's multiple orders at one price, would they be aggregated? Would they sit in the book at different levels? How would they fill? So there was some work, I would say, done on kind of mapping out how that would look. And at the time, and I don't remember exactly what pivoted us, but I think we might have been pivoted just, probably some random occurrence. And then all hands on deck were somewhere else. I still think it's super interesting. So I think we're going to do it. I know we're going to do it. The question is when. Definitely not in Q4, as you see in the roadmap. Probably not in Q1 or Q2 next year either. It's probably something that if it touches us again in the short term, will be somewhere towards the end of next year. Also spotted ALBT on CoinMetro. Unbelievable, the gems on your exchange, Kevin. Could I also ask what 2 projects you're most bullish on? Well, XCM, obviously, because if I didn't say that, I'd have to fire myself. Or the board, I guess, could fire me. Can the board fire me? Jesus. Oh, man, I better start picking up the slack. Shit. Could I also ask what 2 projects? So obviously XCM, got to say XCM. Outside of XCM, that's difficult. That's difficult for me. I'm a bag holder of a bunch of different projects, just like probably everybody. I think, in crypto, you don't need to be bullish on a single project. To be honest, you need to be bullish on the market, because no matter how great your project is, if the underlying market isn't doing well, then it's going to be tough for you to break through any type of ceiling, all-time highs, etc. So I got to say XCM though. Got to throw that out there. To do 2 just means that it's like a dad picking favorites. Like, let's say you had 30 kids. I hope you don't have 30 kids, but let's say you did, or 60. You know what? Fucking 100 kids. You have 100 kids. Don't have 100 kids. If you have 100 kids, let's say you had 100 kids, 100, 100, 100, and they told you pick your favorite. That's going to cause a problem. You can't do that. I mean, you do. Every parent has a favorite. We just don't say it. If you're a parent out there, damn well you have a favorite. You absolutely do. And if you say you don't, you're lying to yourself. You do. You have a favorite, but you're not going to go tell them. I mean, some parents do, and that's probably why we get serial killers. So I don't want serial killers among my bag holders. So I'm just going to not say what the other one is. But everything we list is somewhere on my favorite list. Let's put it that way. What's the XCM buy bonus mentioned in the roadmap? That's a thing that's going to happen at a time. That's going to be fucking super awesome, man. That's what that is. I can't give away the secret. I used to do that all the time, and then people would get really upset at me, and I'd get like evil eyes at the office. I'm not at the office, so I guess I have a bit of leeway, but I will be at the Mexican office here shortly once we hang up here. It's a thing that's going to help reinvigorate the book. Think back to the ICO. Maybe you'll get a hint. If you've been around that long, that's OG status. The new roadmap for Q4 mentions an XCM buy bonus. Oh man, people are all over that one, huh? All over it. Hi, I've been looking for a data scientist job. Hey, David, and I find myself here with you guys discussing about what, please? Well, I'm not going to discuss data science because I'm not a data guy, and I'm absolutely not a scientist. I make a lot of hypotheses though. I guess at a lot of shit. Sometimes I'm right. So maybe that does make me a scientist. But David, if you want a data scientist job, we need some data scientists. So you should head over to apply.workable.com/CoinMetro, find the data one, put in your amazing details there, and let's hire you. And then you can have really cool discussions about data science. Because with me, we can talk about data, though. I can talk about data all day long. Data and science. I was pretty good in science in school. When I say school, I mean like elementary and primary and secondary school. I did not anywhere else. So, yeah, sorry. Any luck in onboarding institutional clients? Well, that's not really our game plan at this point. I think somebody posted something in Telegram the other day, like maybe it was you, that you had a client, UK client, that's a crypto platform that only onboards institutions. They've onboarded 4 institutions. One of them was doing 150 million a day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's why most companies that get into finance in general may start in retail. Most don't, but they may start in retail and they just end up in institutional. Why? Because you service less clients, it costs you less money. They don't really care. They don't really ask a lot of questions. So once they're onboarded, they only really ask a question maybe once a month or something. And when you take 6 weeks to answer them, they don't really get all that pissed off because they have a million other partners. And well, that's it. As long as your liquidity is there or whatever they're looking for is there, they're fine. That sounds like a great idea. Not to me, though. I'm a retail guy. I'm in this business to provide access for all. That's our slogan, right? That's why I'm here. That's why I wake up every morning. I don't wake up every morning so some dude that sits on a desk somewhere that works for some institutional player that is wrecking his clients in some way, shape, or form, whether through commissions or just losing money, can get an additional on-ramp into a market. He's got those already. I'm not helping them. In fact, I'm probably doing a disservice to their end users. I want to provide service to those end users. Yes, it's more difficult. Yes, it takes more time, but there's many more of them. And as this market grows, they're going to need options which right now they even don't have. And so what I will say, the opposite side of that is that at some point it becomes impossible not to deal with institutional clients. But our institutional clients, in my mind, will be not the institutional client, let's say, that this company is servicing, but that company. Meaning, if a platform opens up an exchange to provide services to hedge funds and other institutions, I want to provide service to the platform, not to the hedge fund. I want to go direct. And the reason for that is that one, I think from being in that position, I know that trying to find liquidity providers, trying to find service providers on that portion, when you are kind of sitting between the prime and the client, prime broker and the client, so you're kind of you trying to find a prime of prime relationship is difficult, or a good one. So I think that's where we'll end up. Why would we end up there? Well, we'll have all the liquidity from the retail clients. I hate to say it, but you can look at something like Binance, right? Binance was full retail. Now every institution in the world uses Binance. Why? Because they have all the retail clients. Now, we would do it in a much different manner than Binance does it, but it's inevitable that we will service institutional clients. But my goal is to make retail clients and make their lives better, give them more opportunities, give them the same opportunities the institutional guys have, and make sure that they make money. That's the end goal. And with that, we inevitably will service institutions, but that's not the plan currently. Out of curiosity, what was the reasoning behind adding CAD? Could you consider adding Swiss franc one day? One, we had a few providers that were offering us localized CAD. So, okay. We also have, obviously, clients in Canada. We have more clients in Canada than we do in Switzerland, for example. And so it became a thing. Yes, I want to provide instantaneous and localized on and off ramps in fiat currency in every country I can. And why not Switzerland? So I would consider it, absolutely. We would just need to find the right banks or non-banks or whatever service providers to give us the access to those markets. It is harder to raise funds for CoinMetro, which is still a niche company in a niche field. Is this kind of the market? In this kind of, is it? Jesus, sorry, man. I'm going to use my normal excuse that it's Friday. It's not that early, right? Was it 7:30? It's not 5:30, for fuck's sake. Is it harder to raise funds for CoinMetro, which is still a niche company in niche field, in this kind of market with inflation and global crisis? Well, it's never easy to raise money. So even in the best markets, regardless of what your field is, raising money is just a numbers game always. So normally, you got to talk to 100 people to get one yes. Sometimes you got to talk to 1,000 people to get one yes. Sometimes you got to talk to 10,000. It's just about talking to people. So it doesn't, whether it's more difficult or less difficult, it's always a numbers game. And there's going to be people out there that just resonate with your message. And I believe, regardless of the fact that we are a niche company in a niche field, and regardless that there's a billion exchanges, and regardless that whatever, we have a unique narrative. And I think that narrative really, really speaks to certain types of people. And those are the people that we look for investors. I mean, inflation doesn't help, but inflation doesn't necessarily hurt rich people the same way it hurts poor people. Hate to say it, but that's the way the world works. That's what we're trying to change, man. Access for all. Either it hurts everybody or hurts nobody. That's how it should work. Hello, Kevin. Loving CoinMetro since the early 2020. I put a the in there. It's Friday. Since early 2020. Almost perfect, but any inclination towards listing Cosmos Atom ecosystem? We've actually been asked this a few times. So I'm inclined, but I need to learn a bit more. So if you have some amazing information that you think I should read, that somebody may have sent me in the past and I didn't read, I don't know. Telegram me, man, at Kevin Murcko. Send it over. Let me have a look. I'll get it onto our listing team if I think it makes sense. Shark fin crypto products really seem interesting. Any thoughts on them in general? Shark fin crypto products. I have no idea what that is. Zero knowledge. Zero. Literally zero. Probably negative knowledge. Seems to me like they would come inside a really shitty plastic container and supposedly, help with your manhood. I don't know. Shark fin. I don't know. Sell them in Chinatown. I don't know what that is. So you got to provide me more information on that one, dude. Hello. I have been searching for a data scientist job and found myself Daoud. We just had David. Now we have Daoud. You have two accounts. It's your same name, David Daoud. Absolutely. Like I said, apply.workable.com/CoinMetro. You are beyond lost, my friend. He's not lost. We need data scientists, man. Don't tell him to go away. What are you crazy? When is the 500 million fund round happening? Probably Q2. Looking at Q2. That's Q2 next year, 2023. Just so somebody doesn't post a meme like Q2 2027 or something. If the initiatives to improve XCM liquidity don't work as expected, is there a chance the sell side of the order book would be throttled? Let's just say there are initiatives that are similar to what you're describing. What are the thoughts on quant? Is a staking opportunity once back to CoinMetro? Am I reading at a third grade level today, or people typing at a fifth grade level? What's going on? What are your thoughts on quant? So my thoughts on quant. I don't own any quant. I did back in the day. I owned like 7,000 of them or something like that. Sold for a profit. Didn't catch the last bull run and definitely haven't caught this one. I like the people behind quant. They're definitely passionate. They're knowledgeable. I like the idea behind quant. My question on quant is, why would central banks want interoperability? I'll leave it there for you. We can discuss that one, by the way. I can debate that one for hours. And that leads me to wonder the future of quant. Now, pivoting to interoperability to other payment systems, cross-border systems, et cetera, would be super interesting. And maybe they're already doing that. Actually, I think I read something that they may be thinking about doing that. But interoperability between central banks, they could do that now. They work on ledger systems. And it's a fucking Excel sheet with a macro. They can integrate if they wanted to. They never have. Why? That's my question. Yes, like I said, every asset on CoinMetro, I want to have passive income behind. So we expect to have, maybe it won't be staking, could be lending, could be some other type of passive income, but we want to do it on every asset. That would include quant. Any plans to list any Cadena tokens, such as the DEX token for KDA swap? Definitely want to list Cadena tokens. Haven't done any yet, but we will be listing Cadena tokens. We have the infrastructure to do it. Hey, what are your thoughts on the UK and crypto with the Ripple swell event happening in November, and quant perhaps with the Bank of England? Do you think Rishi will turn to crypto soon? Thanks. Well, I actually did an op-ed on Rishi, which I'm not sure has been published yet, but this whole CBDC thing is really starting to piss me off for a couple of reasons. One, central bank issued digital currency is not going to go into the hands of everyday people. Central bank issued digital currency is to settle between central banks and commercial banks. That's it. Everybody's got their, panties up in a bunch because they think that, Rishi's pro CBDC and that's going to trace all our payments. And, they're going to know when you're buying porn on the internet. I mean, they already know that, by the way. Wink, wink. So, the CBDC argument there is ridiculous. Yes, he's probably pro CBDC. I said back in 2017 well, maybe it was 2018, that governments will love CBDCs. They'll jump all over that. They'll say no first, then they'll read in between the lines and go, oh man, let's get all over this nonsense. And they have. Inevitable. It's inevitable. However, the first CBDCs will not touch us as people. So whatever, right? Traceability is not going to be there. It will eventually happen. Maybe it's going to be commercial banks that roll out. Maybe you're going to have like Bank of America coin. Oh my God, who would buy that? Oh, Jesus. UBS coin. Oh, Jesus. JP Morgan coin. Oh, they already had that one. They failed. Never released it. JPM coin. Anyway, I think Rishi, at a very minimum, understands more than your average politician about crypto. I've seen him talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and a basket of cryptocurrencies and CBDCs and da-da-da-da. Even if that's the entire extent of his knowledge, even if he thinks Bitcoin is mined by, dirty fat dudes in Chile, who cares? It's probably more than the average politician. It is more than the average politician knows. And that's a step in the right direction. The UK, after Brexit, they still are the biggest financial hub in the world. They obviously see that crypto at some point is going to be a big piece of that. It's a very small piece now, but it has the potential to be very big. And they want to make sure they're a part of it. That makes a lot of sense. They're not going to be the only nation to do that. They are one of the biggest financial hubs in the world. They're probably still the biggest. And they want to maintain that. So yeah, makes sense. There's always been events. There's an event every day in London about crypto, and has been since 2017 at a minimum. Can you give us a longer elaboration on why you don't like quant? You normally just drop small bits here and there, but I don't get why you doubt it. It seems solid. I just did. So it's not that I don't like quant. I like the guys behind it. I wish them all the success in the world. I hope it goes to 1 billion. For me, though, as an investor, I don't get why central banks would want interoperability. They can do it very easily now because they all use ledger systems. And the thing with ledger systems is, even if they're complexly different, it's a ledger entry. So they could integrate and it wouldn't be too difficult. And they haven't. So why would they do it now? What is the need for a central bank of one country to integrate with the central bank of another? That's the question. Now, I think quant, if they tackled interoperability between payment systems, cross-border payments, etc., that is a minefield and still is. SWIFT is still a minefield. And while we can say, you can move Bitcoin cross-border, you don't need a bank, blah, 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 people are still going to use fucking banks. People are still going to move fiat currency between banks, and the interoperability there sucks. Republicans take Senate? Yep, more than likely. I mean, people vote with their wallets, and their wallets are hurting. So more than likely, yes. Also, last AMA, you mentioned Link versus Quant. Curious about your thoughts on this. They're both different. There's no, in terms of like what they do, there is no versus. That's like, it's not even a David versus Goliath because they were both human-shaped beings, This is like, I don't know, alien versus salamander. There's no similarities between the two. I think Link's use case is so much clearer and expansive. So, do you offer paying staff in XCM? No, we don't. But they can buy XCM with their pay. Not a question, but I just wanted to say what you guys have built at CoinMetro and the service you provide is invaluable to its users. Easily the best exchange in crypto and always getting better. Appreciate that, KDA Miner, man. Amazing. I said man again, and it's your fault, but I still like it. Thanks a lot. I really, really do appreciate that. How is marketing going? Good performance from your agencies. Yeah, we slimmed down some of the agencies, so we're whittling down. There are still some performance issues, but we're still getting more signups, which is what our first goal was. So we're hitting that goal. We're now starting to refine some of those campaigns, starting to refine landing pages, etc. And so things are going good. And we're going through the process. What are some big ticket items, strategic initiatives on your multi-year plan, say 2 to 3 years from now? Well, I think once we have more capital in the coffers, definitely acquisitions are going to be a thing. I would love to start looking at acquisitions of small companies doing amazing things that we can integrate into our platform to help our users, enhance their portfolios. Whether those be DeFi, hybrid, centralized services, just things that are super innovative and go right down, our line of access for all. So if there's somebody out there building something that's cool, I want to know about it, and I want to have a chat with them. And hopefully, they're probably going to offer some other places, but for us, it's really about aligning incentives. And also, we like to work with people that have a like mind. We don't want to work with somebody who's trying to just make money in the back of their clients. No matter how great their product was, we wouldn't go down that line. Regulation is going to be a big ticket item across the globe. It's always going to be big ticket. So that's always going to be on the forefront. Strategic initiatives about breaking into countries that have big market potential, growing middle class, and getting into their local financial system with onboarding fiats, basically. That's some of a list. There's probably more things. There definitely is more things, but that's a few. I don't understand very fast speaking. Sorry, man. I said man again, and now it's your fault. But since you wow, that was. Did my forehead just get bigger? That would have been interesting. I apologize. Just the way I speak, especially when I get excited. And I love talking to you guys, so I get really excited. I can try to slow it down a bit, though. Sorry for getting to this question so late. Or not question, but statement. Tell us your top 5 opinion in 5 years. You want to know the top 5 opinions I'm going to have in 5 years? Whew. I have no idea. I have different opinions every day. I don't know what my opinion will be. Maybe you're asking for like top 5 assets or something, but top 5 opinions, I don't know. The world could change a lot in 5 years. What's your best parenting advice? Currently, I have a 3-month-old, hoping XCM will help his college fund. Ooh, parenting advice. Every kid is different. Even if you had 50 of them, they'd all be a different experience. It's an amazing experience. It without you realizing it, and the first months are a pain in the ass. That's for sure. One guy gave me parenting advice one time when I had my first kid, and told me, just give him the bottle and let him sleep with it. And that rotted his teeth. So that's how far you go, or her teeth, I should say. That's how far you go with parenting advice. Don't. Parenting advice is like getting investment advice, right? If you ask any random asshole who invests, you're probably going to get wrecked. Though, to be honest, if you go to a professional investment advisor, you'll probably get wrecked. Same thing here with parenting. So parenting, I think, is kind of like sitting on a bike. Could be a motorcycle, could just be a bike, going full speed down a rocky mountain, and you have no helmet, no knee pads. Your only goal is to get down to the fucking end of the mountain without killing yourself. So you're honed in, trying to figure it out as you go. It's a journey, I think, and that journey, I think, if it's too structured, is not the right journey. So try to get some sleep. Make sure your kid's nice and gets all the food and vitamins and all that stuff they need. Spend as much time as you can with them during those, especially first 7 years, those formative years. And just do your best. That's it. Any advice I give you, every kid is different. Every experience is different. Any advice I give you might not work. Here's one thing, though. 3 months might be too late already. Don't rock your kid to sleep or, do this. Children will fall asleep without you moving. Funny enough, it does work. The minute you do anything like that, they will never fall asleep without it. I made the mistake once, put my daughter in the car. Oh, somebody told me, it's another asshole, told me some bullshit advice, Get them in the car, fall right asleep. Yeah, they do. And then every time they sleep, you got to put them in the car, when they're 6 months old and wake up at 2 a.m. And you got to drive them in the car. And then when you get home, you got to get out the car, close the door real slow. Like you're a grown man crying in your driveway, half naked in slippers, trying to pull your baby out of the car seat without waking her up or him up. Don't do it. Don't do it. What happened to gamifying the platform? Still a thing. We've been building things that are going to help us gamify the platform for the last year. Even Swap Widget, for example, is part of that gamification. Swap Widget leads to DCAing. DCAing leads to leaderboards. Leaderboards lead to gamification. So we're moving down the stretch, man. I said man again. Jesus. I need to have like a jar where I just throw XCM in. Every time I say a word I don't want to say, just XCM goes in there. You guys, and then we'll just raffle it off. You guys, somebody's going to become a millionaire. Is there a possibility to be involved in the research team at CoinMetro? I would love to work alongside my favorite exchange. Yeah, absolutely. Send me a DM on Telegram. Let's chat about it. Hey, Kevin, do you see world governments adopting CBDCs? Yes. But again, CBDCs are clearing between central banks and commercial banks. That's it. Not, central banks and you. Central banks don't bank regular people, and they never will. So, but absolutely, they're going to adopt it. This makes perfect sense. Hi, Kevin. Do you see world governments? KDA tokens. Yep, we're going to do KDA tokens. None currently on the roadmap, but we will get there. How many customers does CM have? I know we have 11,000 XCM holders. We have about 250,000 clients that fully onboarded. 250,000 clients that have onboarded, 70 something thousand. Maybe it's up closer to 80 now, 80,000 or so clients that have fully KYC'd. So yeah, something like that. First transaction though is lower. So, but that number I don't know off the top of my head. Have reward for question of AMA? No, your reward is an answer, man. Dude, almost got it. You almost got it. What do you think of Johannes token? I don't know, but just looking at the name, I'd never buy it, but I have no idea what it is actually. What is the status of the return of the principal for the TRAM investors? No status update from there. That again is in the hands of the TRAM manager, not in our hands. We were told that there was about a year. It's going to take about a year for them to be able to do that. I think it's been 3-4 months. So, what's your thoughts on BRICS and the current economic situation? The BRIC country. Yes. Well, countries, I should say. Well, look, whether it's BRICS, PIGS, or any other block of countries that, generally speaking, are not your first world entities, it's going to be rough. I think stagflation will be a thing. I don't think we're going to see inflation fluctuate higher still, and once it gets there, it's probably going to stagnate, which means it will go lower, but not as quick as it went higher. We may have a lost decade here coming up of just real shit inflation. And those, smaller countries or emerging countries or third world countries are going to get hit the hardest. And that's just the way it's going to work. It always works that way. The question is whether they're going to be bailed out by the larger countries who are also getting absolutely reamed. In previous, let's say, macroeconomic downturns, macro meant, one region or might have meant 10 countries. This macro is everybody. And so in the past, when some countries may have reached in to try and bail out others, that might not be the case this time. Maybe they're just going to consume them. Maybe this is when we actually will see some type of other exit from the EU, for example, not just a Brexit, but a Grexit or some other. When it comes to the BRICS countries, well, they're not going to fare any better. I honestly think that this, the 2 years or so of COVID, of lockdowns, of printing money, et cetera, I think you're going to look at somewhere between a 2 and a 5x of how long it's going to take for countries to restabilize or fail. So that means, somewhere between potentially 4 and up to 10 years of inflation, stagflation, and economies simply not returning to where they were. Now, that can be extended. The pain can be kind of relieved and that timeline extended, which isn't good, by printing more money. We've already seen the Bank of England start to print more money. We're probably going to see the U.S. print more money at some point. They're going to do another basis increase, probably 0.75, et cetera. They may do more than one. But at some point, they're never going to beat inflation. Inflation is not going to come down to touch where the interest rates are, which means that eventually they're going to have to print some more money. What does that mean? Well, it may mean that, again, the pain may be off, and maybe they're going to do that in the lead up to the presidential election to try and get people to vote Democratic because their wallets won't be hurting as much. And maybe it works. I don't know. But they're just going to extend the pain. What do you think about the bill or SBF bringing down DeFi with it? Well, one, again, don't be worried about initial legislation in any country, U.S. or otherwise, because normally it's always going to have 10,000 revisions before it actually comes out and it comes into law. And even when it comes into law, if there's pushback, if it doesn't work, if they're seeing that, then it's going to get changed, right? And people will find their way around it. When it comes to tech, this is illegal, this isn't. So you have a platform that looks like this, you just make it look like that, you're done. And DeFi is no different. DeFi is a bit more nuanced because at the end of the day, it's difficult sometimes to change things because, well, it's not centralized, right? So it becomes more difficult to change, which is inherently a good thing in many ways, but also sometimes a bad thing. I think, SBF is trying to play up to regulators. I mean, I do the same thing. I don't do it in the same way, but, you want to be able to get in the room. If you're not in the room, they're going to make some decisions that are going to kill your business. So obviously SBF doesn't run a DeFi platform, right? So fuck yeah, go after those assholes, leave us alone. And that's why you need the diversity of people in the room. And that's why having anonymous people building really cool shit is fucking ridiculous. Because if you're anonymous, now I understand we got the whole Tornado Cash thing. Obviously, that's the U.S. government trying to say, look, if you're 12 building something really cool in your basement, stop. The thing is that the Tornado Cash guy is probably going to win that. He's going to sit in jail, though, for a while, and that sucks. And so I get it. I get why there's those anonymous guys with their anonymous handles on Twitter. But that doesn't help to get us to where I believe everybody wants to be. There's this idea that you can just sit on the outside and have something that can, evade current law, and somehow you're going to win. But that's you with an under 1 trillion market cap going against the G7 and really the G20, who can just annihilate you. We think of all of us sitting on these layer ones. Bitcoin's not a layer one, because below Bitcoin, what do you have? Electricity, internet, telecom. And when it comes to all those, the easiest one to just shut down is telecom. You don't think that they could find miners? You think that they're hiding behind Tor browsers with their miners means they can't be found? Are you kidding me? Do you really think that's the case? No, they'll find you, man. They'll shut you down. I said, man, again, son of a bitch. But you will get found. They could shut this down. They could take all the regulated counterparties and make sure they don't deal with unregulated counterparties, and they could shut down a lot of nodes and a lot of miners. They could do it. And so getting in that room, being part of that conversation to try and push that conversation down the right path is imperative. And SBF knows that. And again, you're not going to try to throw yourself under the bus. It's going to throw DeFi under the bus. Do I think DeFi is going to go under the bus? Well, DeFi, as I've always said, is going to get regulated one way, shape, or form. And that's why we need people in the DeFi sector to not be anonymous, because you can't fight when you're anonymous. At least you can't fight the fight that they'd be willing to fight. Can you get a preview on the new margin UI? I commented on Discord about it a couple weeks ago. I feel like I had an influence on getting CM to update it. You might have. Yeah, actually, if you go ask in Telegram, Oliver might be nice enough to shoot you over a preview. When I say you haven't sold anything as you claimed, I meant you as Kevin. Okay. Yeah. I haven't sold. Well, I have sold a bit I have sold a bit of crypto, but my portfolio is, I don't know, it's a very small percentage what I sold, but it's in single digits. If it might even not even be a single digit, to be honest. Wait, so you want proof of reserves for me? That'd be interesting. Yeah, I might be willing to do that. If there's an easy way to do it, I might be willing to do it. Thoughts on Elon Musk's Twitter takeover now that the deal has been finalized? Status quo, went from one person owning it to another. People are corruptible, and so is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to use Twitter to his own benefit, obviously. But at the same time, is it better for humanity, as he says? I don't think so. I don't think it's better for humanity. It's better for him. And it may be better in terms of short-term discourse. Maybe we do get a bit more discourse on Twitter. But at the end of the day, anything owned by one single person, and I'm saying this as the owner of a centralized exchange, for fuck's sake, but anything owned by a single person is going to be built in that person's vision. Now, if his vision stays true, which is difficult. Now, me, as the CEO of CoinMetro and owner and all this good stuff, I have a certain amount of power over my platform. But having the power over Twitter, that's where people get their news from. That's an amazing amount of power. And I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't know if I'd remain true to my vision. I think I would, but no one knows. So right now, I'd have to say it's no different. We have to see what happens. Some of these questions make me laugh out loud. Yeah, me too. I try not to, though. I was wondering when Mars Rewards will be back on. Just a few tiny percentage would feel better. It's coming, man. It's coming really, really, really soon. Really soon. Keep your eyeballs peeled next week. Did you visit some casinos while in Vegas? If you score the jackpot, please buy up to sell well with it. I did. Well, the event was in a casino. Well, not in the floor, but I mean, it was in a hotel casino. Yeah, I did. I didn't, but I'm not a big gambler, to be honest. So I think I threw away like $200 or something like that. No jackpots, unfortunately, no jackpots. Saw a show though. If you go to Vegas, there's a magician called Shin Lim. Speechless. Love the new background. Thanks, Kurt. Can you use crypto payments in Twitter? Can he use crypto payments in Twitter? Do it soon. He could add crypto to Twitter. Dogecoin tipping. I think tipping would be a good feature to have. Why not? If I'm following somebody and I like their content, why can't I tip them? Was that enough blinks to make that not obvious? Anyway, thanks everybody. It's been a great AMA. I think I got through all the questions. If I didn't, hit me up on Twitter at Kevin Murcko, or tweet me up. Tweet me up. Can you tweet somebody up? That sounds weird. Tweet me on tweet at me on Twitter at Kevin Murcko, or you can hit me up on where I answer much more quickly on Telegram at Kevin Murcko. Kevin Murcko everywhere. That's my name. I'm not anonymous. I don't wear a pineapple mask. You see my face. I am who I am. And have a great weekend. We spend time with friends and family. If you can't do it physically, do it virtually. And while you're visiting your family and you're bored out of your fucking mind, make sure you tell everybody to buy XCM, because it's the cure for everything. It's like, it cures everything. You have rheumatoid arthritis, XCM. I don't have any, proof that works, but I'm kind of thinking it should work. It should work. Grease up those old joints. Get grandma dancing again. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you here next Friday. I think I'm going to be in Portugal. Different background. And appreciate all of you. Appreciate all your support. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. CoinMetro wouldn't be here. CoinMetro wouldn't be the greatest place in the world as it is today. Thanks to everybody who works at CoinMetro as well. See you guys shortly on our weekly Thank God It's Friday meeting. I'm going to try to hustle over to the office now. Cheers, everybody.